is one of the most talked about homes in the world. Now step inside the gates of Spelling Manor for exclusive access to this legendary home.
Thousands of people have been in this house, in every room in the house, except nobody ever gets to see what I'm going to let you see now.
Candy Spelling gives the most complete tour ever of this iconic home. From the rooms specifically designed to hold her priceless collections, to the grand spaces that became the epicenter for entertaining Hollywood's brightest stars.
This is a very special suite. It's called the Prince Charles Suite. We call it the Prince Charles Suite because Prince Charles stayed here.
This is your invitation inside Spelling Manor.
I'm Candy Spelling. My husband, Aaron Spelling, and I designed and built one of the largest single-family homes in America. We named it the Manor. We entertained princes, presidents, and Hollywood royalty. More importantly, we raised our children here. But now it's just me, and the Manor is way too big. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm selling Spelling Manor.
The Spelling Mansion sits on 4.5 acres in one of the world's most exclusive neighborhoods, Holmby Hills, California. The mansion is a staggering 56,500 square feet. In the manor, you'll find 14 bedrooms, 27 bathrooms, a doll museum, a bowling alley, 3 gift wrapping rooms, a barber shop, a dining room that seats 30, a custom-built library, formal breakfast room, media room with a 60-foot screen, a rooftop rose garden, and parking for 100 cars. Candy and Aaron Spelling were married in 1968 and had 2 children, Tori and Randy. By the 1980s, TV producer Aaron Spelling was on top of his game, with primetime hits like Dynasty, Love Boat, Melrose Place, and Beverly Hills 90210. He held the Guinness record as the world's most prolific TV producer, a title he still holds today. His multi-million-dollar fortune allowed them to build a home that was truly their castle.
He wanted a home that had everything, and this was going to be our family home forever. And we set out to build everything that we wanted to have.
The Spellings purchased the Bing Crosby estate in 1983. They decided to tear down the existing house to build their dream home from the ground up. The massive construction project began in 1986. There were over 150 skilled workers on site each day building the manor with over 500 tons of steel. Thus began one of the most impressive home building sites in American history.
My husband wanted a ranch, and I'm like, oh no, we were just going to buy another house, and now you want a ranch too. I said, what about if we put it all into one? When it started out, Tori was going to have a zoo. What we ended up doing is by the time we moved in, Tori was 17 years old, and we didn't have to put the zoo in, which I was very thankful for. That might have been a whole different zoning, I'm not sure.
I thought we paid guys to do this.
In building this house, we both were very involved in the beginning, and then my husband said, this is not what I do. His philosophy always was, I need to pay for this house, so I'm going to work and you design the house. I love everything you do. I love everything that you pick out. It was his way of really getting out of having to do it, I think.
This is the closest tree to the house, is this one right here.
Sometimes I would say to him, would you like this fabric better than this one? And he would say, whatever you decide on will be perfect. It was really my responsibility. He went to work, and he did television, and I built the house. Well, this is the start of our new home.
Hey, good luck.
Good luck.
As the mansion took shape, Aaron Spelling scored unprecedented TV success with a total of 4,501 hours of primetime television on the air. From the beginning, the mansion caused controversy. Construction continued for 7 years, bringing tourists and paparazzi to the exclusive neighborhood. Neighbors were shocked at the massive size of the French chateau, which dwarfed the other homes in the area. Mrs. Spelling oversaw every aspect of the construction, including the installation of 170,000 glass tiles in the swimming pool. The driveway was laid by hand with over 200,000 granite pavers.
I decided I wanted a French house, but because I did not understand how plans worked and I didn't understand how to read drawings, as I eventually learned, I obviously had made the house too big, and he said, you can't spend this much. We're not having this big of a house. And we cut an entire wing off the house. I mean, it was really even bigger. And that's my fault. I didn't understand plans. I understand them now, but, you know, I probably would not have built this house as big as it is. So.
Ranking on 300 feet bigger than the Beverly Hills Hotel.
In fact, the manor is as big as a football field, bigger than Taj Mahal, and even bigger than the White House. Candy wasn't just building a house. She was setting the stage for entertaining the brightest stars in Hollywood, and the Spellings knew the importance of a grand entrance.
I would say that the grand staircase is probably my favorite part of this house. Every time I would see it Gone with the Wind, and Vivian Leigh would come down that staircase, it was like, I want to have a Gone with the Wind staircase in my house. That was my inspiration for building it. It was done in Texas, and it's all one continuous piece. There wasn't anyone that I could find locally that could build anything of that size and magnitude. That had to be shipped to Los Angeles and installed all at one time.
My name is Robert Daly. I've been Mrs. Spelling's designer for 37 years. I played a big part in this house. It was a big project. In the beginning, we traveled to Europe and bought a lot of the pieces that are in this house. Eclectic French. Took us from beginning to end about 8 years.
Mrs. Spelling and her designer traveled across Europe, hand collecting thousands of antiques from England, Italy, and France.
Well, she's always known what she wanted. She has a very good sense of style. She has a good sense of decoration.
The trips that I had to take to Europe to bring back every antique fireplace. I didn't want new anything. There's not a fireplace in this house that's new. There's not a chandelier or a sconce in this house that's new. It was all purchased in Europe. I needed to give the house integrity. What makes this house, the manor, different from other houses is, first of all, it's almost on 5 flat acres of land, with access and egress in 2 different places, which is very unusual. My front driveway is built wide enough that a car can be coming up and a car can be going down. If you look around the rooms, there isn't a room in the house that does not have windows. Every room opens up to fabulous sunlight and or beautiful terraces or the outdoors. There are no air conditioning vents anywhere. It's all in the crowns where the ceiling is dropped. I've never seen that done anywhere.
Thank you for inviting me to the housewarming for your house, Candy.
In your house, the manor.
And I want to tell you that I will always remember this, because I know from this day on, this is what we will live on.
Thanks a lot.
Now I will see you in 2.5 years when the house is ready. Goodbye, darling.
In 1991, the manor was completed. With the eyes of the world watching, the Spellings opened their doors to the most glamorous home America had ever seen.
We actually discussed the name of this house with our entire family. And my daughter said, I think you should call it the manor. It's like a French chateau. And I thought, you know, very apropos. I like it. And we all decided, let's call it the manor. This looks like a lot of silver, but you know, when you entertain people like Nancy and President Reagan, you have to have all these things.
We are listing the Spelling Manor for $150 million. What we're looking for here is a billionaire.
No place had more legendary parties than Spelling Manor, and no invitation was more sought after.
This house was built to entertain because we did entertain. We entertained presidents, royalty, stars. There's not an inch of it that wasn't done for a reason where it totally entertained. My dining room table opens up to 30, and I liked French service, so I would have a butler on each side of the table, one starting at one end and one starting at this end, so they would kind of go this direction. Almost everybody got served at the same time. This looks like a lot of silver, but you know, when you entertain people like Nancy and President Reagan or Prince Charles, you have to have all these things, and maybe it might have gotten a little out of hand.
Candy's humidity-controlled silver room has walls lined with silver cloth to prevent tarnishing. Her attention to detail blends extravagance and practicality.
Everything has to be separate. I designed these drawers. They had never done anything like that before, where they lift down, and then you can lift this layer off to find more silverware underneath. You name it, I have it. I love collecting, and I love setting a beautiful, beautiful table.
A spelling party included the finest wines stored in a temperature-controlled wine cellar and tasting room, which holds over 1,000 bottles.
Wine. What am I going to do with all of this wine? I collected for the last 20 years. Some of the Chateau Lafite Rothschild I bought year 1923 and 1945. The best years of all the good French red Bordeaux's. You can open up these cabinets and there's even more wine all the way around. You know, these are half bottles. I thought maybe Aaron and I would drink, but, you know, I've still got a lot of wine. As my husband kept having more and more shows on the air, we had to do a lot of entertaining. There were a lot of executives, there were a lot of stars. When we talk about stars, it was Jack Lemmon, it was Rock Hudson, it was Linda Evans, it was Joan Collins. In fact, Joan kept saying, "You never invite me to your movie screenings." And I said, "Okay, Joan, I'm going to invite you, but you have to come with no makeup on. You have to come very plain and simple, or you can't come." And she did, and she was beautiful without makeup on.
Through the manor doors walked such famous names as Jackie Kennedy and Prince Rainier of Monaco. When Prince Charles personally selected the manor as a location for his charity fundraiser, the world was not surprised.
When I had the party for Prince Charles for his charity, there were only 300 guests that were allowed to be invited. And I was really very nervous. I had stopped smoking for about 5 years and started smoking again that night. Just from the nerves, I was like, well, what am I going to say to him all evening? Why do I have to sit next to him? And, you know, it was this whole thing. And he never took his eyes off of me, and he never talked to anybody else at the table. In fact, the governor was sitting there at the time, and he never even turned to talk to he or his wife. It was an embarrassing moment, because he was like, you know, just like very intense on me all night. But anyway, it was a very nerve-wracking evening. The biggest party I've ever thrown here is about 500 or 600 people. I've done Christmas parties here where there's something going on in every room of the whole house. I had karaoke machines downstairs, piano in this room, a piano in the living room, and a whole big thing going in my projection room. You could seat 45 or 50 people. This is what we call the alligator pit. The screen rises from the floor up. I dreamt that it could come up out of the ground. It can't be one of those screens that roll down from the ceiling because they have creases in them and they don't have speakers behind them, whereas all the speakers are built in here besides the surround sound speakers that are in the room. Just whatever anyone wanted to do. People bowling. I have a bowling alley, but not just a bowling alley. I have a bowling alley for two. My husband, who was really big on the bowling, he couldn't go to bowling alleys like every other person because there would be somebody that would come up to him and said, "I just want to give you my headshot. Maybe you could use me on one of your shows." And that was his indulgence.
The manor became a Hollywood tourist attraction, feeding the public's fascination with all things spelling. And what might have bothered some celebrities was welcomed by this famous family.
The movie star vans come around here every 3 minutes up until about 2 in the morning.
This is all Spelling Manor, the largest property in Los Angeles. One of the most powerful men in all of television built it.
My husband, he loved people. And I have to tell you, he shocked me one day. The tour bus was stopped right in front of our gate, and the gate was now open because we were going in. Gets out and gets on the tour bus. And he like shook everybody's hand and he said, "I want to thank you for building this house." And I said, He said, yes, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't live in this house. We couldn't afford to live in this house. He appreciated fans, and he was the nicest man you ever want to meet.
In June of 2006, Aaron Spelling died. By this time, both Tori and Randy had homes of their own, leaving Candy alone in a very big house. 3 years later, she'd come to the realization that it was time to move on.
The manor has been a wonderful life for me. The entire family has had a wonderful life living here, great experiences, and wonderful memories that will always be. There's a lot of posters around of the dogs playing poker, but I wanted the real thing. There were times when I used to wrap at Christmas alone 900, 1,100 gifts. That's why I needed my 3 gift rooms.
While the public image of Spelling Manor was a place for elaborate parties, behind the gates, Candy insists life at the manor was surprisingly ordinary.
Living here is not that much different than anybody living anywhere. I don't have breakfast in bed. I mean, it's not like Dynasty. It's not like the movies. My job was housewife, mother. There are features in the manor that I designed specifically for each member of my family. Randy played tennis and basketball, so we have a basketball and tennis court. My husband taught my son how to play tennis, and actually Randy competed at one time, and that was really his favorite area. And then there's a game room. When I get really stressed, I come down to this room because I've got machines, and I play Pac-Man, and I play Aaron's pinball machine. I think everybody's home has one room that is the dearest to them because of their spouse, and mine is the library.
My favorite room is Mr. Spelling's office because of the paneling and the whole look of it.
In this room, Aaron Spelling negotiated multi-million-dollar network deals and wrote scripts that would change the face of primetime television forever.
When we were first married, I would send his scripts to be bound, and we couldn't afford to do them all at once, so I used to do like every 4 scripts, and we had them in our little, inexpensive 1,800 square foot house. Of course, we ran out of room, so then I designed the room so that he would have to be 110 in order to fill all those shelves. The scripts, of course, is more than I could possibly take with me, but I'm so happy that they're going to be at the Boston University. I'm taking his desk that I had built for him. I know it's very large and ridiculous, but I had that made for my husband, and I want it there.
Without question, the most talked about room in the manor is the gift wrapping room. Candy Spelling had 3 of them, where she personally wrapped thousands of gifts every year.
I did get flack for putting a wrapping room in the manor. It was like unheard of. And today, it's not unusual for people to have rooms dedicated to their hobbies and or pastimes that they like to do. This is what I'm all about. It's craft. I can use this bow machine, and it makes the bows really, really quickly. As my husband kept having more and more shows on the air, I shopped for every Christmas present for all those stars, all the cast. There were a lot of gifts. That's why I needed my 3 gift rooms. There were times when I used to wrap at Christmas alone 900, 1,100 gifts. I really enjoy collecting. Collecting, to me, starts with something you have a passion for. The dolls were really my daughter's dolls, and she said one morning, these scare me. I wake up and I see these faces looking at me, and so she said, why don't you admit they're really your dolls, Mom? Consequently, the collection got much, much, much larger.
Candy estimates she has well over 1,000 dolls. 75% of those are rare Madame Alexander dolls from the 1930s through the 1970s.
It's a lot of dolls, and I don't even have them all out. They're beautiful faces, and they don't talk back to me. When I first put my dolls in, I noticed discoloration and starting to become a little bit damaged. So I brought somebody in from the Los Angeles County Museum. He worked with me, and we came up with a way to light them where there were compressors that were in each cabinet so that it would take all the heat, and the lights were cool so that they would not fade the clothes.
Candy also collects mechanical toys called automata, some made exclusively for her and Aaron.
My husband started collecting automatons, and then, of course, I thought this was great. I had something to buy him because he doesn't really have hobbies, and I started buying him automatons every time there was an occasion. And at that point, he said, please, no more dolls, no more automatons. I'm done collecting. But, of course, I continued collecting, and I went to Paris, and I found this dog smoking a pipe like Aaron did. I think that when I move, I'm kind of done with the dolls. I think I have to let the entire collection go together.
Candy has literally thousands of Beanie Babies, including teeny beanies and extremely rare ones like the teal bear. To keep them all in pristine condition, Candy stored each beanie in a ventilated plastic bag.
I started collecting Beanie Babies because they were so cute. It became a ridiculous obsession. I don't even eat McDonald's hamburgers, but I was going to get the Happy Meals. Everyone had to have Happy Meals in my house, so I could get the little teeny Beanie Babies from the Happy Meal. So I got these huge plastic bins that have air holes in them, and then I would mark each one, and I'd put a special cover on the tag so the tag didn't get damaged. Am I going to get rid of them when I sell the house? Absolutely. The only sad thing is I wish they were worth what I paid for them. The story behind this painting is there's a lot of posters around of the dogs playing poker, but I wanted the real thing. And my husband said, that's what you want for your birthday? And I said, yes, that's what I want for my birthday. And surprise, my birthday came around and he had bought it at auction, and I was very happy. She's cute. She's got a bow in her hair. She's serving. My husband worked very late hours, and I always had dinner with him when he came home. And then, you know, he'd go and rewrite a script, and then maybe go watch a little television, go to bed. And I had a lot of time. When you have a lot of time to fill, I guess I bought a lot. I shopped a lot. Now I have to go the other direction and downsize it. The thought of having to dismantle everything and decide what goes where and who gets what, it's going to be very difficult for me. Thousands of people have been in this house, except nobody ever gets to see what I'm going to let you see now. I have 30 days to move out of the manor. Are you kidding me? How in the world do you move a house of this magnitude in 30 days?
Candy Spelling built the manor to be a showplace. Most of the exquisite rooms inside the 56,500 square foot estate have been photographed from top to bottom. But there's still another 17,000 square feet of the manor no one has ever seen until now.
Thousands of people have been in this house, in every room in the house, except nobody ever gets to see what I'm going to let you see now, and that is my attic. I'm an organized person. A lot of the attic is stored by holidays. If you see the way that it's coded, it's E, like this is E3, this is E5, and everything is coded so that E is naturally for Easter. And of course, I thought this gold one, well, I even have it in a larger size, might be good for Lady Gaga. These are Thanksgiving up here. Christmas, Santa with his list of who was good and bad. I have like 147, to be exact, of these toy soldiers. I went around to every Costco that was in this city, and we literally would buy all that Costco would have. Then I'd drive to the next Costco. Halloween. I love holidays because it was always fun for my children, and I really tried to make everything festive. It gave us all something to do together. And it's, again, entertaining. I loved entertaining.
This 17,000 square foot attic has epoxied floors for dust control. It houses a mechanical lift to raise and lower the chandelier in the entry below. And there's a barbershop in the attic. Why in the attic? Candy says she forgot to make room for it in the house.
I did what I had to do to make this happen. So I have all my children's things from when they were little, from their little tables and chairs that they had in their room. And this was something special that Aaron and I bought when Tori was, well, too young for it, and we gave it to her later on. And it was a special house. And at the back of it, the whole roof opens up, and then there's the different rooms in there. And there's lights, and it's really wonderful. Tori doesn't know that I still have it, and I'm going to give it to Stella for her birthday, so I'm really excited about that. I hope she doesn't kill me because it's kind of big. I have luggage, more luggage. A lot of this luggage Aaron and I took on that one fabulous trip. Because Aaron didn't fly, we traveled by train to New York, and then we traveled by boat to Europe. I didn't know any better. I had never been anywhere in my life. My parents didn't travel with me, and we had 52 pieces of luggage. Ridiculous. I'm getting rid of a lot of it. I can't possibly use all this luggage.
In 2009, 3 years after her husband's death, Candy made the decision to sell the manor, a milestone in the world of luxury real estate.
As I've begun to have real estate agents come in and look at the manor, I gave them a short tour, and then I let them come back a week later with a presentation.
To get this listing, 6 of us did a presentation with show and tell, all the different media possibilities, all the different advertising pieces, and we gave it our all. And we got it.
In the spring of 2009, the manor was put on the market. To target the right buyer, exclusive information was sent to the Forbes list of the richest people in the world.
The Spelling Manor is the largest property for sale in the Los Angeles area. It is actually even larger than the White House. Between the main bedrooms and the staff quarters, there's 14 bedrooms and 27 bathrooms. We are listing the Spelling Manor for $150 million, which makes it the most expensive listing in Los Angeles, in the country, and for a listed property, the most expensive listing in the world. To sell a property like this, there are no traditional methods that would work for this. This is uncharted waters. What we're looking for here is a billionaire.
After 840 days on the market, the manor was sold to a 22-year-old British heiress.
We sold the Spelling Manor. This is unbelievable.
As part of the deal, the buyer demanded that Candy Spelling be out of the house in just 30 days.
I have 30 days to move out of the manor. Are you kidding me? I mean, not in my wildest dreams did I ever think that this would ever be part of an escrow. How in the world do you move a house of this magnitude in 30 days?
June 2011, the manor is sold. With only 1 month to get out, Candy Spelling hires 3 moving companies with dozens of movers to pack up over 100 rooms. Because Candy's new custom-built penthouse will be under construction for nearly a year, she's moving to a condo nearby and putting all her belongings in storage to be sorted out later.
The clock is running. There's a lot to move. It isn't just the 56,500 square feet. There's the 17,000 square foot attic. So altogether, that's 70,000 square feet. The magnitude is more than anyone could possibly imagine.
From the moment we found out we were moving, 30 days. As soon as we knew, we pulled the team together, all the key players, and came up with a schedule, a game plan, and we've just been going ever since.
This move is a very large-scale move. It's not your average home by any means at all. Mrs. Spelling has packed a lot of things herself. She's very organized. If we didn't have her organization, we would be all over the place right now.
Everything needs to be organized. Sticky notes became a major part of this move.
To keep everything organized, we've used our Post-it system. A is for auction, S for storage, C for condo, and D for donut.
Everyone has their lists, and we check the lists off as we go.
Each member of each team, from auction houses to storage to movers to artwork, each person has come in and been able to take the challenge.
Storage. You can take all that stuff. Can you take the mirror to our storage? Yeah.
Everyone has a job to do, and they're getting it done. It's working.
Candy is meeting with experts from Bonham's, the fine art auction house. Together, they've decided to place over 120 items up for auction, including original artwork and antique furniture, such as the billiard table custom-made for Aaron Spelling, and an impressive 6-foot-tall fortune wheel from the Spelling's game room.
Right now, I think we're about 650 boxes that we've packed so far. And the process is still going on as we speak right now.
We got some 2-foot wood strips that we lay on the stairs. Put one box on the tip of the wood and it slides all the way down to the next level. Then we got another guy on the next level sliding it down all the way down to the bottom.
It's too much. It's real big. And it have a lot of furniture. I would say, like, if you want to go room by room, so far it's like 50 rooms.
I am starting the process of cleaning my closet, and I'm really trying very hard not to pack up a lot of things that really don't fit me anymore. It is very overwhelming.
She's aware of every move that's going on in the house. We have, at times, 4 or 5 different movers, moving companies, doing different items in the house. She's aware of it all. I don't know how she does it.
This move has been controlled chaos, but it's been well organized. It's a little hectic, but everyone seems to know what their job is. From our perspective, it's more traffic control because we have a lot of people coming in, a lot of people leaving with a lot of stuff. We want to make sure that the stuff they're leaving with is what they're supposed to be leaving with. And we want to make sure that the people coming onto the property are supposed to be on the property.
Each day, as many as 3 26-foot trucks are loaded and driven away from the manor. There's less than 1 week to go till moving day.
We've all been working till 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning.
So we have 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6 trucks.
This is probably the most stressful thing I have ever done in my entire life.
While the majority of Candy's collections are going to a climate-controlled storage facility, the contents of her famed doll museum will go to auction. Candy's doll collection includes over 1,000 pieces. Today, they're being meticulously cataloged and packed by a team of professional doll masters.
I would say it's up to the echelon of one of the larger collections, especially of a specific type of doll.
So Susie is actually not doing anything overly complicated here, using acid-free tissue paper. As you can see, she's wrapping individual parts which we don't want to have blemished, like the face. And you notice she took the shoes off. Shoes have a tendency with Alexander's to fall off, but they're really an important part of the value. So she's actually wrapping the shoes in tissue paper to keep everything isolated in this one package. This particular one will probably bring in the $400 to $500 range.
My biggest fear of packing up and moving is, where am I going to move it all to? I'm like living in mess right now. Time is running out, and we really are under the gun. I am keeping it together because I have no choice. If I'm going to fall apart, it's not going to be until this is over with. It's a very eerie feeling to walk around and see all of a sudden this is all gone. I think I'm going to miss everything in this house, but this one particular.
Finally, moving day has arrived. It's Candy Spelling's last day at the manor.
Today is when it's really hit me that I'm definitely moving and we're getting things out of here. Life will be easier, but it's not going to be easy once I have to open these boxes and go through all this stuff. And I can't let them throw it out. I have to decide. You know, I'm not good at getting rid of things because it's hard for me. It's like, you know, memories. lot of boxes left here today and a lot of items that are actually going to auction.
We're all done with the dolls.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks.
Here, thanks. We'll find good homes for you.
Thank you. It's all really stressful, but I think today we really feel like we've conquered it. And a lot of the movers couldn't do it because it was such short notice. And I was really, really lucky to find an amazing group. I did walk into my bowling alley this morning and saw it's just all empty. It's a very eerie feeling to walk around and see nothing on this wall, and all of a sudden this is all gone. Even walking out in the garden and seeing, a lot of my patio furniture gone. It's a very freaky feeling. It's gone, and scary, heart-wrenching, and stressful.
The escrow closes on Thursday on this house. We have to be out of here on Wednesday, and that's the last hurrah.
As Candy moves out of the manor, she's closing a personal chapter. But selling Spelling Manor also means the end of an era in entertainment history as one of the most glamorous homes in Hollywood changes hands.
It's very hard to know what to take, how I'm going to unpack it and put it all away in this space that I'm moving to. That's very sad for me. It's very sad. As I turn off the lights and I close the door and I walk out of the manor for the last time, I would please pray that the next family will have the experience of enjoying it the way we did and loving it the way we did. I think I'll miss most about the manor the family gatherings we had. I'm the keeper of the memories. I'm the one that documented everything that ever went on in that house. And once it gets disassembled, some of it will go to my son, some will go to my daughter, some will go to auctions, some will go to charity to be sold. I'm going to lose everything that was assembled and put together in one place, and now it's just going out to sea. This is my bathroom, and this is the room where I got ready for Emmys, Golden Globes, Oscars, and many parties. I had a lot of good times in this room. I think I'm going to miss everything in this house, but this one particular. I am going to miss it. Kiddingly, because I'm in a high-rise, I always say onward and upward.
Mrs. Spelling's next residence will be in the Century on the 41st and 2nd floor. I'm helping design that. It'll be similar style to this. It's kind of her taste. Be probably another year to complete it, and at that time, it will be a whole new life for her.
It's very, very sad. You look at it and it's like an end of an era. It's really an end of not just my chapter, but the Spelling Dynasty chapter. It's scary in one respect and kind of wonderful in another, that I am lucky enough to have had all those wonderful memories here, which I will carry with me always. And I'm really looking forward to a new chapter in my life. My heart and soul and guts went into it. Built it from the ground up. I designed every room of it, every inch of it, where every closet is, where every bathroom is. It was all, it all was here. And it will be very hard, but I'm very lucky that I had all these wonderful things and I had a wonderful life. And I always cherish that. It's, I had my Prince Charming.
It's a little sad, but onward and upward, I guess you say. So it's a big house for her to be here alone. I think Mr. Spelling loved this house.
As I turn off the lights and I close the door and I walk out of the manor for the last time, I would please pray that the next family will have the experience of enjoying it the way we did and loving it the way we did. Bless you for giving me such a wonderful life with the wonderful people that I've met in my life and my wonderful children.
Mom and Dad, I love you a lot.
I love you.
And all the animals that have lived here. My husband, who is since gone. And be happy that I still wake up every morning happy and I'm alive. And I'm very lucky that I have beautiful grandchildren that I get to share it with.
Next time on Selling Spelling Manor. After 21 years in the manor, everything Candy owns is in boxes.
And now the real work starts. What do I get rid of and what do I keep? That is my daughter's.
Go behind the scenes of this epic downsizing as Candy moves from her 56,000 square foot estate to a condo the size of her former attic.
It's hard getting rid of anything you own, and I want to keep it all, but I can't.
She's getting rid of priceless possessions and one-of-a-kind collections.
Here we go.
13, 15, 14, 5, sold.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, Mom.
Mommy?
And passing on keepsakes to her children.
Do you remember this?
Yes. The suitcase my mom found in storage, I have not seen in probably 15 years. Did I just date myself?
You'll get an exclusive look at the breathtaking future Spelling residence. A 16,000 square foot penthouse with $1 million views.
Just beautiful.
Candy gives us a sneak peek at the design and construction of her new home she's named the Manor in the Sky.
Here's to my manor in the sky.
I'm Ian Ziering.